Well, good morning, everybody. A Monday morning here, just after 9 a.m. You're watching Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Jane Monreal. And guess what? It is the first day of school. So how exciting is that for CMS students as well as Union County students? We are tracking some cooler temperatures for this first week of school for the Charlotte area. It should feel pretty nice, and we'll see if the kids need to bring an umbrella to the bus stop as well anytime this week. And then around 10 o'clock this morning, we are expecting to hear and see the president sign some executive orders that is on his agenda for this morning. One, we are learning that it is to sign an executive order to end cashless bail in Washington, D.C. White House officials saying the president could withhold federal funding if the district does not end that policy. Also breaking, we are hearing that Kilmar Abrego, the man who was taken from, was deported rather to El Salvador, his native El Salvador, brought back to the States, and he was just released from federal custody. If you've been following the story, released on Friday, he is now back into ICE custody and facing deportation to Uganda. So ICE agents reporting that over the weekend, a story we will also follow here on WCNC Plus. But let's get back to our local story. And again, it is part school, part weather. So Chris Mulcahy is here at the top of the hour here, joining us. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I'm super excited for the kids just because going back to school so many times this time of year, it's swelteringly hot. Yep. You have severe thunderstorms sometimes because we're starting to head back into our second coming of severe weather, but not the case. I'm not even calling for really a chance for rain over the next 4 days, and some of our mornings are actually going to be a little bit more September-like, or dare I say fall-like, and it's a gorgeous day today, so a nice mix of cloud and sunshine. Roll tape, as you can see right here in Monroe. At most, I think you're going to have maybe a couple of darker cloud bottoms. That just represents that, hey, in the upper levels, the cloud is trying to rain on you. But today, I think it's going to be perfectly dry. We're up to 74 degrees. We dropped down to 70. This is the warmest morning of the week across the board. 60 degrees right now in Boone, and then 70 degrees right around Morganton. Boy, do we have a nice little shift on the way. So today, 86 degrees. Yesterday, we were right around 88. And then we also have a slight heat index. Notice at 2 o'clock, 85 feels like 86, 84 feels like 85, and even as late as 8 p.m., 80 feels like 81. But that's about to change, my friends. Also, get to bust out some of my back-to-school graphics, like the after-school forecast for the greater Charlotte area. Multiple people, such as CMS, going back today. Also, Union County. I believe Caldwell County is on there. Hickory schools. And I feel like there's one more that I'm missing. Let me see. Who else is it? So, Union, CMS, Hickory, Caldwell. Is there another one? I think that was it.
You got two more than I had in my head.
Okay, well, that's good then. All right, anyone
Conover, back to school from Meck, Union, Anson.
Oh, Anson County. That was it. Okay, there we go.
Have it up.
Well, just wanted to give the appropriate shout out to everyone. And then another look at the distance that here in Monroe. A gorgeous day, but now it's time for me to be the fill in the blank here, because 6:51 sunrise, no big deal. Sunset time, 8 p.m. The reason why I'm being so melancholy all of a sudden is like, Chris, what's wrong with you? Is because this is the last time we're going to do this for a while, y'all.
What?
8 p.m. is the sunset time. The next time we're going to have a sunset time at 8 p.m. or longer or greater is April 20th. So the only downfall, yeah, I know, the big boo, is that we have our shorter day length, and it's getting about 2 minutes shorter each and every day. So, of course, that is going to make our sunrise times later and our sunset times earlier. Still plenty of time for those later walks, but as early as October 6th, then we are no longer after 7 o'clock. So I'm just letting you know it starts to happen and drop off very fast going forward. But hey, we're still in August. We're not going to get there as well. Just kind of being the messenger of bad news, and now we're going to pick it right back up. We have a cold front that is passing. This is actually cold front number 2, and that's what's going to shift the winds and drag in even some more drier air. Any chance for rain across the Carolinas? There's a slight chance if you're watching us on WCNC Plus. Thank you so much, by the way. In Anson, Richmond, and Chesterfield County, you might have a brief 2-minute rain, maybe a couple of sprinkles, but I think most of us are staying dry entirely. We'll also have some on and off clouds from morning to morning. I think we could have some patchy dense fog to wake up tomorrow. So here's the change. 86 degrees today, 81 tomorrow, and it's like the world or Charlotte knew that it was time to make it more fall-like, because tomorrow is a special day for many people's hearts and taste buds. It's Pumpkin Spice Day. That's right. that place that's colored in green and not known for stars, is going to be bringing back their pumpkin spice latte. So what do you know? Dropping down into the mid 60s, but it's actually going to be much cooler than that on some of those mornings. So I might usually say, okay, well, it's coming back way too early and earlier than some previous years, but the lower 80s not too bad. Maybe you want iced latte at that point, but a hot latte in the 60s maybe not a bad idea. And going forward, Thursday morning could drop down to the upper 50s. We're talking about a big chilly willy status going on, with the lower 60s being the main range over the next few mornings, because the dew points are dropping down. And the thing about the dew point is, the lower the dew point goes, the lower our temperatures can often go, because whenever the temperature is touching the dew point, well, what do you know? What happens? Dew forms. So that's why it's a really big measure about how low our temperatures can go and how we actually feel. But since this is dropping down into the 50s, we're going to feel super great. I'm talking about really comfortable air. This is going to be amazing. And also, the lower that you get this point, especially this time of year, well, the less rain you're going to have. So even with a couple of systems nearby, it doesn't matter. We are dry today through Thursday. Our isolated to spotty storm chances start to return on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for your Labor Day weekend, but nothing is really a washout status. Real quick, I'm going to give you a tropical update. Last time that I was here in the Impact Studio, we were talking about 2 waves. One was supposed to supposedly work its way a little bit closer towards the Bermuda area, and another one was expected to be right about here at this point, pushing off towards the west. But unfavorable wind shear conditions and other things around the Lesser Antilles have stripped this thing apart, so this no longer is an issue. So the last time we were mentioning Invest 99L. Meanwhile, this one over the weekend was Tropical Storm Fernan. Fernan, yep, not Fernand. Fernan is soon going to be a fish storm, about to be a distant memory. It will remain tropical storm strength in the near term, and then eventually, I think by about Thursday, it should be out of our hair, and then just past and gone. And we'll wait another 6 years for it to repeat. So for the 7-day forecast, I really don't have a lot to build on. I'm not showing you the future cast because there's nothing to show you. We have the lower 80s, cooler forecast in the lower 60s. We'll see a little rebound to the mid 80s, but if you look in that upper right corner, that's where we should be. We should be at 88 to 68. It's another below normal trend, and we're going to continue to see that because our Climate Prediction Center is still showing that a good portion of the eastern United States is going to be in the area of blue, so that's about a 50-50 shot for below normal temperatures. Well, it looks like both our highs and our lows are going to be below that. So if you like the hotter summer-like temperatures, I'm sorry that they are taking a break, but if you're like me and you don't mind the lower 80s and absence of that oppressive humidity, you got a really good week to look forward to.
I mean, really remember when beginning of summer we were like, oh, it's going to be 85 and 88.
Yeah.
Now we're like, woo!
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, yes!
Yeah.
I think
Stay.
85 is my perfect temperature.
I love
84, 85
Yeah.
is like
mid-80s, because that means you're starting out cool-ish.
Yeah.
But you can still splish splash. You can still go in the pool.
Exactly.
Breeze.
Yeah, because I preferably I love like 77 with sunshine.
Well,
me
yeah.
perfect.
And
but
then there's that.
But this time of year, yeah, if you can get lower 80s for me, it's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Because how many times that you have these cool downs, it's cloudy, you're actually seeing decent amount of sunshine each day.
right.
And so I mentioned this also before, that Wednesday officially is my pick of the week,
Yep.
because that
Okay.
looks to be the most sunshine, and it'll be feeling actually the driest of all of them.
All right.
Well, fun.
So yeah.
We'll take it. Hey,
take it.
first day of school, CMS,
Not too
Union
shabby.
County, Anson, Caldwell. Who else? I forgot.
I
Sorry.
think Hickory specifically.
Hickory. Okay, Hickory. Shout out Hickory. Can't
Shout out
forget y'all.
Hickory.
Enjoy that first day
Well, awesome.
of school. All right, and you get snacks after class too. I always like the after school snacks.
yeah.
Okay, real quick, because I love our tangents. Does anyone have an after-school snack, or now or back then?
Back in the day, for me, it was a pudding.
Oh,
You know,
nice.
just
the
rip
pudding
open a
cup.
little
Oh.
pudding cup. Old
Like just the
school.
chocolate, or the chocolate with a different color in the middle, like the vanilla in the middle.
Just the chocolate.
Okay.
Yeah, and just the vanilla.
I love a good old big green apple, Granny Smith apple.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day, 2 things: Dunkaroos.
Oh, yeah.
Dunkaroo.
Yes.
And that little thing with the sticks and or crackers with the cheese.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
yes.
yeah, that was the jam with that little piece of plastic that you did the spread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, where are
remember
those?
that little red stick?
Are they still around?
And
sure.
also, if you remember this one, send back kudos with like little M&Ms in them. The Kudo bars?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the Kudo bars.
Had some good snacks. I don't know what the kids
Yeah.
are eating now. What is JT eating?
Goldfish.
Oh,
Goldfish.
Love goldfish.
Goldfish is a classic.
Goldfish. Let me
Still
see
eat
what other
goldfish
snacks.
right now.
I eat goldfish now.
With a glass of wine.
Veggie straws is another one. Those are actually
yeah.
pretty
Yeah,
good.
veggie
That's how we
straws are
trick
good.
them into vegetables.
Okay.
I know
In straw form.
Yeah, veggie straw form.
In
No,
processed
there's
straw.
several other things there's different pastas that you can try to squeeze it in there as well.
Yeah.
He's actually getting into those what are the freeze dry fruits. Those are nice,
okay.
with the bananas or the strawberries, and all the other ones aren't healthy, so we won't mention those.
All right. Oh, good stuff to remember. We should have thrown up our back to school pictures too.
Okay.
Maybe a little.
Maybe a little later.
Maybe a little
A
later.
little bit later, yep. And
Yeah,
I
we gotta-
shared a new one today for our morning show as well. And the craziest thing was I found this photo recently of me from 5th grade, and I'm wearing a Hornet shirt, and I lived in Massachusetts at the time.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, the Hornets merch from back in the day, the vintage merch,
Oh,
is
man.
the best.
You
Oh,
are
yeah.
Totally understand
manifesting.
it.
Yeah, the typical Hugo.
Yeah.
The shirt, if you guys show it, you know exactly what shirt I'm talking about.
I gotta find this
Okay,
photo.
yeah, we
Yes.
showed it earlier on, but no, it was crazy, and I remember getting it as well because back in Boston or the Cape Cod area where I lived, the Celtic stuff was not cheap. But then meanwhile,
but
you could get the
Hornets was.
Hornets on sale, and it was also late '90s at that point, and the Hornets were like across the United States still just respected, and
Okay.
people just liked
Right.
the Hornets. So there was a lot of that
it's somewhat
Hornets
heyday.
merch that we were all talking about.
Oh,
so.
man. And now, your after school routine, did you have a practice or drama class or a club?
Let me see.
Or.
I was a runner, so
Okay.
like in high school and middle school, I ran track and cross country.
Good
I
for
wasn't
you.
really coordinated to do the other ones, so that's the reason why I did it. But I was fast. In 8th grade, I remember I ran a 5:37 mile.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah. So
wow.
yeah,
That's lightning
I was a little
fast, huh?
zippy. Now I can't even run to the end of my driveway. It's a long driveway though.
Feeling it in the knees now.
Oh, my left knee is shot.
Oh, yeah.
Carlene, dance class, of course.
Oh yeah, all
My
types of
life.
dance.
I
All
had-
from kindergarten up.
I had dance class.
Dance.
class and cheer. Cheer.
You
Same,
cheer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did
My
cheer,
wife was
did
cheer.
dance practice, and then of course I was a thespian. So
Thespian.
So I had
Theater.
I got together with my choir and theater friends, and we would just jam to just create our own, like try to harmonize.
Oh.
Just in
Oh,
the-
that's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, my husband would say you nerded out then.
did, like, your own little a cappella
we did
group.
our own little glee club. Just pretend we were in a musical in life.
Yeah,
there at
and no
South
matter who
Plantation.
you are, everyone nerded out
Everyone
about
nerds out,
something
for
at
sure.
one point in their
Absolutely.
adolescence.
Yes, for sure, as it should be.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun.
That
was
Trip
good.
down memory lane.
Mhm. I'll never let you guys stay on script. We always have to do one tangent as long as I'm
sure.
here,
Yeah.
so thank you.
We enjoy that too.
I feel fulfilled now.
Our Monday tangent for you, thinking back to school, and I mean, really appropriate. So, thanks, Chris. That was a lot of fun. All right, here back in the Live Impact studio now. We need to take a little bit of a break after our Lisa Washington did speak to the superintendent of Union County. We'll bring that interview to you in its entirety after this short break. Stay with us. Welcome back here to Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Jane Monreal. Time right now is 9:17. As promised, a full interview with our Lisa Washington, who spoke to the superintendent of Union County Public School. Their first day of school is today. Let's see what they're up to and what they have planned for your students' academic year here on WCNC Plus.
So I'll just start with the obvious. We are sitting in a I can still smell the newness, a little bit of barbecue, of this school. What an exciting time to be in a brand new high school.
It's phenomenal. Big thank you to the voters of Union County who approved this project in the 2022 bond. It was an overwhelming support for this school and the building of another elementary that we'll do the ribbon cutting tomorrow. But we're really excited. I mean, this has been a long time coming for this community. The original Forest Hills High School was built in the 1950s. This is a state-of-the-art building that is unlike any other in Union County, so we're thrilled.
So this obviously is as a result of the growth in the county. Talk about what that's been like for the school district.
So historically, the school system and the county has seen long periods of growth. A lot of individuals that decide to move to Union County because of the school system. We take a lot of pride in that. Our goal is always to keep people in Union County and not choosing another option. This school in particular was built because of an aging facility. While we do have growth, mostly due to the new bypass that's in place, the old Forest Hills High School that was built in the 1950s was really designed for the 1950s, and the voters approved this project to really replace an outdated building. We hope that future bonds will pass as well, because we have that similarly in other parts of the county where we have schools not just only because of growth but also because of aging facilities that we hope will become rebuilt at some point in time in the future.
And you said this was a 22 bond that allowed the approval for the renovation, or not renovation, but for this school to be built.
Yep.
And was there another bond last year?
So there was another bond in 2024 that the voters gave the approval as well for two major projects. One was the renovation of what is now the old Forest Hills High School, which will become the new East Union Middle School. We're really excited about that because it'll give us a chance to get our middle and high school kids on one campus here in the Forest Hills cluster. The second project was the design of a brand new Parkwood High School. That's another aging facility down in Waxhaw that needs to be replaced and kind of built from brand new. So we're now in the process of designing that new school as well.
Are you hopeful that as the county grows and as the buildings get older that you will still get the support from the county? I mean, you've told me 22 and 24, you've asked for a bond. Do you see that coming again, maybe 26, 28 down the road?
We hope so. We have a 10-year master plan looking at the next 10 to 15 years really of new school buildings that need to be operated and built. Those projects ultimately have to go to our Board of County Commissioners for approval to get placed on the ballot. So we're very thankful that we've got a Board of County Commissioners that supports the school system, understands the need, and has historically placed those items on the ballot. The next bond we believe, or request for the bond, would be in 2026.
Okay. So we've talked about the buildings and affording them. Let's talk about the most important asset, I suppose, the teachers and the students.
Absolutely.
Teacher shortage nationwide, retaining teachers, recruiting them. What is that like for you in this upcoming year?
So we're actually really excited about the upcoming school year on that front. We are probably have the best staffing levels that we've had since 2019, which was pre-pandemic. We have had, just like many school systems have seen, historical shifts, as you've mentioned, on the lack of teachers in the pipeline. We've made some really good internal and external efforts to combat that. We started our own Grow Your Own teacher program on two sides. One, for the last 2 to 3 years, we've had a teacher assistant to teacher pipeline program. On the other hand, we've started a program called Teach UCPS, which is kind of like similar to a North Carolina Teaching Fellows program, where high school kids can go through and matriculate through a pathway with a university partner. They can actually work with us upon graduating while attending school and hopefully getting out of college debt-free in terms of tuition. So we've really worked on some significant internal programs to help combat the recruitment and retention, and we're finally seeing those efforts pay off. So this coming school year, our vacancy rate is the lowest it's been in probably the last 6 to 7 years. At the elementary level, we are less than 20 vacancies. The majority of our vacancies are in our exceptional children's department, which is also another national issue. At the high school level, same case, we're probably less than 10 vacancies across at the high school and middle school. And on the operational staff, I can't remember the last time we were in the single digits for vacancies of bus drivers. We're at, I think, 4 was the last number I saw. So starting the school year off, we're really well equipped from a staffing standpoint to have a great year.
What do you think is the biggest challenge starting the new school year?
So, the number one for me is, I'm not just the superintendent, I'm also a parent. And so one of the things that we take a lot of pride in is that when we send our kids to school, number one, we want them to be safe, physically, mentally, emotionally. We never lose sight of that. And so everything we can do to make sure that our children's physical safety, physical, mental, and emotional safety is taken care of. And we've had a lot of investments and initiatives to really help with that piece. Most notably our school resource officer program. We ended the year last year with a 1-to-1 ratio, and we'll begin the school year with coverage for all schools. All middle and high schools will have a dedicated SRO. All elementaries will eventually have a dedicated SRO, but we're working with the sheriff's office on some vacancies on their end. On the academic side, we have some new programming coming to a lot of our new schools and our clusters. We've expanded some academic initiatives that we're excited about. So, looking into the school year, the challenge is always, number one, making sure our kids are safe, and number two, making sure that we continue to thrive academically. We take a lot of pride in the fact that we're the highest performing large district in the state, and the challenge is always maintaining that.
I was going to say, because your schools are known throughout the area. You mentioned tools. AI is something that everybody is talking about. A tool, is it good, is it bad, how do we best use it? How is that working for Union County schools?
So AI is an interesting and very complex subject because it seems like on a daily basis things change, right, as does technology in general. This past year we've had an AI steering committee that's been made up of students, teachers, parents, administrators that have developed what we call our AI guidebook. It's really a guidebook for teachers and students, mostly at the middle and high school, which is where we're putting the majority of our emphasis on AI, with appropriate use, making sure that our teachers are well equipped from a professional development standpoint to understand the do's and don'ts. You hear a lot of chatter in the K-12 space about AI being used for cheating purposes. We're trying to figure out how to use AI in a more positive way and really make sure our kids are educated on the proper uses of AI, not necessarily trying to find you doing something that is outside of the code of conduct. So making sure our teachers are equipped has been a big priority of ours, and that guidebook is kind of the first step in making that effort happen.
You have a lot of community support, parents, teachers, a lot of people here today, but not everybody, right? Because your district is huge. School starts next week. What's your message? What does the superintendent want the parents and even the students to know coming into this new school year?
So a couple of things. Number one, we've had a lot of change over the summer. We're introducing a brand new student information system called Infinite Campus. That is a statewide purchase that all districts are implementing. There will be challenges with that. With any new rollout of any SIS, there's going to be kinks that we have to work out. So I would just say on that end, number one, as a parent, go claim your account, right? That gets you access to your child's grade book, attendance, bus routes, emergency contact. Number two, I would say we always start the year off with a lot of traffic on the roads. Union County has got to get a better infrastructure in terms of our roads and our roadways. So be patient with us as you see buses on the route. Students are driving to school. That's always a challenge. And then I think the third one is stay involved. Get involved with your child, with your local school. We have phenomenal parent organizations. We're trying to grow those in a lot of our Title I communities. But we want parents to be engaged. We want our communities to be engaged. We have a lot of great programs that can help you do that.
Well, I think you're the third or fourth superintendent I've interviewed. I can't remember. What is the first day like for you? Do you still get jitters? This is definitely not your first day of school. What's that like for you?
Absolutely. So again, as both superintendent and parent, it's always a little bit nervous and jittery the first day. For me, I'll be visiting one school in all of our feeder patterns. That's 9 schools across the district. I'll be traveling those however many hundreds of miles it is doing that. I cannot wait. I'll be coming back here to Forest Hills as well for that. But it's going to be a great day. A lot of nerves on both the student level, the teacher level, even my level, but it's going to be a great day. We're looking forward to it.
What's going to be your message to your teacher?
Really, the message for me to them is, number one, thank you. I had the chance today to welcome all of our new teachers and new employees at what we call New to the U, with an auditorium packed of brand new employees. And I always say to them, number one, thank you for choosing us. Thank you for coming back to us if you're returning. And really the bottom line is have a great year. And I think our teachers know if they need help, if there's anything they need, they know how to access us even at the highest level.
Let's talk about teacher pay, because that's been a big thing, right? There's one thing to attract the teachers, but then you have to keep them here. Is that a challenge? I know you said you have better numbers than you previously have had.
Yeah, it is a challenge, and I've been on record of saying that we've got to increase teacher pay at the state salary level. It does concern me that we don't have a state budget because we're operating on funds that were from a year old. You've had the issues at the federal level, which those funds have now been given back to districts. The state level, that is not the case. At the state level, because of the impasse with the General Assembly, that means that local supplement increases that we want to plan on giving, we're on hold right now because we are waiting for a state budget to be passed. So on that end, increasing teacher compensation, I would hope, would one day be the #1 priority of our General Assembly, of our state government. In North Carolina, it's hard because you also have a local county commission that, based on your tax rate, has the ability to increase supplements. And so that's a challenge for us. I think for the most part, given where teacher compensation is, we rely heavily on the culture of our school system and of the fact that we do have high-performing schools, and that draws a lot of people in, but doesn't always help us retain them because they can jump ship to another state like South Carolina or another school system and make more money. So I do advocate for increasing teacher pay. It is not just a recruitment issue, but to your point, it's also a major retention issue.
Anything else that you want to add if I'm not asking you?
We just hope that all of our students, our communities, and parents have a great first day and a wonderful school year. We look forward to seeing you.
And that was our Lisa Washington talking to the superintendent of Union Public Schools. We will also get her previously recorded interview with CMS Superintendent, of course, Dr. Crystal Hill. That will be coming up in just a few minutes. Right now at 9:30, we will take a quick 2-minute break. After that, we have more school-related stories for you, including a warning of youth vaping risks. And the South Carolina Department of Health is speaking out about that. But first, let's go ahead and take a little 2-minute break. We'll be right back here on WCNC Plus. Thanks for watching. And welcome back here to Live Impact News on WCNC Plus, just after 9:30 on this first day of school for many folks, including CMS and Union County. So as students head back to school, the South Carolina Department of Public Health is sounding the alarm, though, about a growing health crisis, a trend among teenagers. New data showing that flavored e-cigarettes and vapes now contain dangerously high levels of nicotine. Catherine Warner from the Injury, Tobacco, and Substance Use Prevention section of the SCDPH joining us this morning via Zoom to discuss this real urgent warning. Catherine, thanks for joining us here this morning.
Oh, good morning. Thanks for having me on the show.
Good morning to you. So explain how widespread is teen vaping in South Carolina right now?
Goodness. Well, we've seen quite an increase. If you go back to 2011, we saw youth vaping at just a 0.6% rate of use. And as of 2021, it was over 20%. So it was a significant increase. And then currently we're seeing rates have gone down a little bit, but it is by far still the most popular tobacco product being used by youth. And in addition to that, we see it also being vapes and e-cigarettes are also the most popular product being used by adults ages 18 to 34. So again, we see the teens using it, and then as they get older, they're still using it and becoming adults who use them.
Wow. And nicotine levels in vapes are increasing, right? So explain what that's about.
Yeah, absolutely. So the concern we have is that, youth and adolescents are more likely to become addicted to nicotine. When they vape, they're more likely to turn to smoking later in life. And youth and adolescents are more likely to experience the mental health effects like increased feelings of depression and anxiety that come with using these nicotine products. And of course, the main reason that we're so concerned is seeing the large increase in nicotine capacity in these products. One of the most popular types of e-cigarettes or vapes on the market is a disposable e-cigarette or vape. Those are the ones that come in all the fun flavors. And those products can have levels of nicotine that are the same as 10 packs of cigarettes. Since 2020, we've seen a 250% increase in nicotine levels in disposable vape products.
Wow, you mentioned flavors like fruit and candy. Is this being intentionally marketed then to teenagers?
Well, kids are definitely seeing the marketing for sure. It's in television, it's in movies, it's at the gas station, it's everywhere, right? But the main reason that we hear that youth are using e-cigarettes and vaping is because of friends and family. So they see it in their neighborhood, they see it at home, they see it at school, and they think that it's safer than smoking because they think it's just this harmless water vapor. But what they don't realize is that the nicotine is being heated in a solution of propylene glycol that then passes over a heating coil. So every time they inhale, they're inhaling all those flavors and those additives in the propylene glycol, but they're also inhaling the nickel and the lead and the chromium, which are the heavy metals that are in that coil in the product. So they're inhaling that deep into their lungs, where it's causing lung injury and heart problems. There's some new studies now that are showing that some youth are presenting with heart damage that looks very similar to heart damage experienced by adults who smoke a pack a day.
Wow. So what are some of the symptoms parents should watch out for if they suspect their teen is vaping?
I think that first you would start to notice maybe a fruity smell coming from your teenager's room. But really, I think it looks different for different kids. We encourage parents to just become informed, learn as much as they can. There's a variety of products. They've got their own vocabulary that go with them. And so finding the information to learn more about it, having open, honest conversation with your kids can go a long way, not being judgmental, and just listening to them, because nicotine addiction is a very tough addiction to break. Nicotine's more addictive than heroin, cocaine, amphetamines, and alcohol. So once you get hooked, it can be a very difficult and uphill battle to ditch it. But we do have resources available if your listeners want to go to the Department of Public Health website, and in the top right corner is a search function, and you can search up vaping or you can search tobacco-free youth. Youth. Any one of those will take you to the web pages where we have a lot of resources dedicated to helping parents learn how to have the conversations and what to watch for. There's also a local organization, a wonderful community partner, Smoke Free SC. They do a vape talk. There's one specifically for adults that want to learn more about these products and how to help their teen. I would recommend checking out either of those resources to learn more and just, again, having that open, non-judgmental conversation.
Yeah, that is the important part, communication. And how about an effective way for parents or educators to even prevent their teens or students from trying this stuff in the first place?
Well, for teachers, for schools, we have a lot of really great resources on the Department of Public Health Tobacco Free Schools webpage. So again, you could go to our landing page and type in the search function Tobacco Free Schools, and educators can find all kinds of information related to how to have conversations with their students, how to be supportive, what they can do instead of sending the child into out of school suspension, ways that they can keep them in the classroom and give them the education that they need, and refer them for cessation services that are specific to youth. We have the Live Vape Free program from the South Carolina Tobacco Quit Line. You can find information there. That also has a parents track, so that if parents want to take the Live Vape Free parent course, they can learn more there. And then we also have guides to help school administrators strengthen their tobacco-free policies and just really identify those ways to keep bringing education in the classroom, keep talking about it. You know, you have to help kids normalize these conversations and, learn how to make better decisions for themselves. And so teaching them the impact that nicotine has on both their brain and their bodies, I think can be very helpful.
Good point. Catherine Warner from the South Carolina Department of Public Health, an important warning now as the school year begins. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. And like I said, CMS students are going back to school. The first day of school today, a lot of those drop-offs, hopefully they were successful for you and yours. Our Lisa Washington did talk to the superintendent for CMS, Dr. Crystal Hill, in this full interview previously recorded for you on WCNC Plus. Enjoy.
28 years and you still get excited. Do you use that to energize and sort of motivate your staff and the teachers for the new year?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We had our leadership convocation 2 weeks ago and we were dancing. I haven't had the board members dancing. It was pretty awesome. Got some of that on camera.
Okay.
We were dancing to Happy.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
For real.
yes.
Know that very well. So you have not only like the largest district in North Carolina, CMS is one of the largest districts in the country.
Yes.
Does that bring nervousness? I mean, when you think about that, I mean, this is a huge, we're talking about almost 150,000 students?
Yeah, about 142,000.
Okay.
Budget of about $1.95 billion. About 19,000 employees. It's a lot.
That's all.
But I still think of myself just as Crystal. And so I'm just so humbled and honored to do this work, but understanding the huge responsibility that comes with it.
We've been talking to a number of superintendents in our area, and it seems that some of the issues and challenges are the same. Teacher retention and recruitment. Is that the same for CMS?
It actually is not for us. In terms of being a large problem. Now, a couple of years ago, it was a huge problem, but we said we're going to do something about it. I did a huge reorganization in our division, and I created a separate division that only focuses on recruitment, retention, and talent development. Typically, that sits in HR. I pulled it out of HR. And we've had tremendous results. In previous years, our beginning teacher turnover rate was about 23%, and this past year it was only 8%. And our regular teacher turnover rate is also down about 4%. So it is really making a huge difference. One of the huge things that we've done is the state pays for 2 days, for onboarding for new teachers. We've invested in a 3-week intensive. We call it the Crown Academy. I was just there earlier this week, and we were welcoming 700 new teachers, either beginning teachers or new to Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools. And we have just heard rave reviews about how much our employees appreciate us investing in them. So it is an issue, but not as much of an issue as it's been in the past, because I think we figured out what we need to do about it. The other thing that we've really heavily invested in with our employees is our At Home and CMS initiative.
Okay.
And we've had over 2,000 of our employees who have come out to housing fairs. We've supported them with rental assistance, down payment. We have great partnerships with Truist Bank, the City of Charlotte, Mecklenburg County, just lots of amazing support. But True Homes, I have to give a shout out to True Homes. What they've done is they've said for every new community build in Mecklenburg County, they will give 10% of their builds at cost to Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools. And so our first teacher closed on his brand new house at Dukes Ridge right here in Charlotte about 2 weeks ago. So it was
that's
really amazing.
Fantastic.
Walked into his new house with equity, just something that doesn't typically happen for teachers because they don't make that much money.
And that's a whole nother subject. I mean,
Yes.
for another day, really, when we talk about affordability for housing in this
Yes.
area because it's growing so much.
Yes.
Speaking of growth, how is that impact? I mean, almost every list will tell you Charlotte Mecklenburg is one of the fastest growing regions in our country. How does that affect CMS?
It impacts us greatly. A lot of school districts, unfortunately, are seeing decline, especially in rural areas in North Carolina. That's not necessarily the case for us. We're anticipated to grow over the next 10 years or so. But with growth comes challenges. But we love the challenges. We're excited about it. This community passed a historic $2.5 billion bond a couple of years ago in anticipation of both the growth and the need to address our facility needs. So it is, we're ready for them. If you are not already enrolled in Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools and you live in Mecklenburg County, they can go right online, one click. And it will take them directly to online enrollment. You can do it from the comfort of your home, wherever you are, or you can come in person, you can call, we'll be happy to help you.
I know that you have at least one new middle school opening next year. Is there anything new opening this year?
Yes, so no new schools,
Right.
but we have several bond impacted projects.
Okay.
So Northwest School of the Arts was a 612 school. It will be now 912, so it's had a lot of renovations there. We have University Creative Arts School, which will be our elementary school, K-5, and then we will have First Ward Middle School, that's our fine arts school. We also have Sedgefield Montessori School that's opening, well, it's in existence, but again, lots of renovations.
Okay.
Let's see, South Meck, so a lot of bond dollars at work. I'll be visiting those during the first week of school and would love for you all to tag along, get some great pictures. Oh, a really exciting one I saw last night was we had Dorothy J. Vaughan and Parkside Elementary combined.
Okay.
That was really big in our community. And so we've renamed the school because of the historic figure, obviously. It's Dorothy J. Vaughan at Parkside. And it has had a huge uplift to really reflect the deep history and the STEM that will happen in that school.
So this is the first year that that school is combined?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't know that. All right. Interesting. You talked about dollars.
Yes.
You have a huge budget.
Yes.
So you have the bond referendums to help get the money to renovate some of the older structures.
Mm-hmm.
Federal dollars play a big part in your budget.
They do.
So I'm sure there was, I don't want to say some uneasiness, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but some concern when you weren't sure if that was going to come through.
There was a lot of concern. We, however, were not surprised. We started planning for this way back in November, October, and then when we got lots of signs and indications that our federal dollars were at risk, and we knew specifically which funds would be at risk. So typically when we allocate, for example, our Title I funds, even though that title wasn't necessarily at risk, we only allocated 65% of those funds to schools, holding back in anticipation of any cuts. So we were surprised, however, on July 1st when we didn't receive our promised allocation for Title IV, we thought we were kind of in the clear. So that was a huge surprise. We spent lots of hours trying to figure out what we were going to do to address this shortage, and then right after we came out with that, they were released. So we were very grateful for that, but just a lot of uncertainty. And what we do know is the uncertainty isn't over. This will be a very tough budget year. We typically don't start budget conversations internally until probably November or so, but we've started already with our internal processes, looking at every single dollar. Creates a lot of uncertainty, but I also think that crisis should never go wasted. So we're always trying to think, like, how can we do things differently? How can we be more innovative? How can we be more effective and efficient and make our dollars go further?
Want to be more proactive.
Yes,
for sure.
proactive.
So we've talked about the buildings, we've talked about the money, but the most important thing is the students, right? In
Yes.
the classroom every day with the teachers and the staff. How do you measure success for the students?
Yeah. So our core business is academics, and sometimes people want to shy away from that, but the whole purpose of schools existing is academics, and so we're really proud of that. But we have lots of measures of success. Our board has adopted 4 goals that ultimately reflect the vision and values of our community. They were very courageous, collected over 20,000 pieces of data that informed what our goals would be, and it's improving early literacy, K-2, improving literacy for students in grades 3-8, Math 1, which is a foundational high school course, in ensuring that every student graduates enrolled, enlisted, or employed. So that is the big picture measure of success. When students walk across that stage, we shake their hands and we know that they are ready to be successful in whatever they choose to be successful.
We hear it all the time, but it's so important to stress parents need to be involved. Like I always say to my kids, your teachers aren't your only teachers. Your parents are also your teachers, but there has to be a partnership to make that success, you said, for when they walk across the stage. How do you stress that to parents, that we need you as partners?
I love that you said that, because my values and my beliefs are that parents are their child's first and best advocate, and they're also their child's first and best teacher, because they spend so much time, obviously, in their formative years with their parents. But the partnership is really important, and we value the opportunity to partner with parents in their child's education. So last year we launched lots of exciting things in terms of our family academies. There's multiple ways that parents can get involved at the district level to support, but most importantly, connecting with their child's teacher, going to the open house, initiating that two-way communication. If you have any concerns, the teachers are so open and willing to share. They really want to connect. We think the best partnership is one of information, and so one of the best ways to do that, especially if you have students that are in middle school and high school, is through our new student information system, which is Infinite Campus. It's a great way for parents to know their child's grades, their child's schedule, attendance, all of those things they can check. We also encourage parents to make sure that they're connected on Parent Square. That is the #1 way that we will communicate, and parents can also communicate back.
Oh yeah, I know about Parent Square. To that. How do you handle, I don't want to say handle, how do you deal with parent trust? Like, there's been a lot of push for parents' rights, and parents are involved and they want lots of information. Sometimes when it's difficult, I mean, I know there were situations at, I think, Randolph and Ardrey Kell. How do you work to build that parent trust when they say, I don't like what CMS is doing, or I want more information?
Yeah, so, again, valuing and understanding that parents need information about their individual child. I think sometimes as a public entity, there's this thought that we should know everything about everything. And the truth of the matter is that we are also running a business. And when it comes to our employees also have rights. And so, anytime there's a situation with employees, if there is an issue with with children being in danger, or anything like that, we are going to communicate as quickly and as transparently as we possibly can. We had some bumps in the road last year in terms of how that's happened. We quickly addressed it and changed our processes. So anytime students are in danger or anything like that, we're going to communicate. However, if it has to do with an employment issue, we don't have to communicate that. I have an obligation to our employees to make sure that all of our employees have due process, that they have, in the investigation process is not hampered by any contamination or anything like that. So I would just say that we're going to communicate with you. We're going to communicate early and often. One of the things that we've put in place, we put it in place last year, but it is full on this year, is that we have a cadence, a cascade of information. And what we have said, in as often as possible, whenever it's feasible, if there's something big that happens, we're going to communicate with parents first before we communicate with anybody else.
Gotcha. So for the parent or student who doesn't get a chance to meet Dr. Hill in person or up front, what's your message to them for this school year?
Yeah, we are just so blessed and honored that you would choose Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools. Our heart is to make sure that we capture your hearts. We have this new initiative, well, it's 3 years old. It's called Capturing Kids' Hearts. And what we really believe is before we can capture a student's mind, we have to capture their hearts. So we are really focused on building relationships with our students, understanding what students want, what their desires are, what their pathway is, and really connecting with parents as well. We want all of our students, all of our families to receive the Crown experience in Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools. After all, we are in the Queen City. So we believe that everyone deserves the Crown experience.
What's new this year? I know there's Infinite Campus.
Yep.
Anything else new this year? Talk to me about Infinite Campus.
Yeah, so the state, we have a statewide student information system. Last year they rolled it out with there's 115 districts in North Carolina. They rolled it out last year with about 20 or 25.
Okay.
We obviously were not one of those. This year it's statewide. So we had the opportunity to learn a lot from those folks that were early adopters. But before we had Power School, now we have Infinite Campus. And so we spent months cleaning up all of our data. The state of North Carolina said Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools did the best with their data cleanup, so we feel very confident that everything that was in Power School is now switched over to Infinite Campus. But that's the one-stop shop for parents to see grades, schedules, attendance, all of that. But it is not the communication tool. We will still communicate with families through Parent Square. So Parent Square is how you get your information, how we communicate with you, but Infinite Campus is where you see all of your students' information. So if your child doesn't know what their grade is, Mom, I don't know what my grade is in that class. That's what my child says to me anyway. And I just go on Infinite Campus and I can see what her grade is.
Gotcha. So no excuses
No
for the student.
excuses.
Okay. Anything else new? Anything else that parents or students should expect this school year?
Let's see. We did a lot of what's new, what's not. The state does have, the General Assembly did pass new legislation that requires us to show safety videos to students that are in middle school and high school.
Okay.
We shared that information with parents, I believe it was about a week and a half ago. All the information is on our website, but essentially it's information so students understand the signs of sexual abuse. And so because it is a sensitive topic, we wanted to make sure parents had all the information well ahead of school starting. The videos are on the website so parents can watch them, but we are required to show those videos within the first 5 days of school. So that will happen during, every school does a safety assembly already, but it will be shown in a group setting and counselors will be there to talk to students about the importance of understanding the signs. So that's something that's new. If parents don't want that to happen, they can opt out. We talked a little bit about parents' rights earlier, so obviously want to honor that. The other thing that's new is the state passed a new cell phone policy. Good thing for Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools is we didn't have to change too much because we already had a policy in place that said that the cell phones could not be used during instructional time. The new thing is they have to be off and away. And so every school will determine what off and away means. Yesterday, I was at our early college at UNC Charlotte. I was in an English class, and that teacher had like almost like a chart, like a cart that was at the top, and students had an assigned number, and she was going through like, this is your number, so when you come in the classroom you have to power down and put it here. It stays there till the end of the class period and you can come pick it up. So it will look different in every school and perhaps in every classroom, but all cell phones will be off and away during instructional time. So that's new. So I think that's about it.
Okay, and again, so if something were to happen, God forbid, the school would communicate, because there would be parents and kids who will say, but I need my phone, I need my watch because XYZ.
I'm so glad that you said that, because it's not just cell phones.
Yeah.
It is any personal technology device. So I'm glad that you said that and I was able to clarify that. But absolutely, we will communicate with parents in the event of an emergency. In fact, what I would say to parents is, if there is an emergency, the last thing that you want your child doing is texting you what is happening, because they won't be able to hear the instructions for our emergency protocols. Which does lead me to something else that is new that I did forget. We do have a new emergency safety protocol that's called I Love You Guys. And it's a standardized protocol in terms of anytime something, God forbid, a mass casualty happens or an armed intruder is on campus. It's called I Love You Guys. It's very clear, it's easy. We heard from our students that what we had in place before sometimes was confusing.
Okay.
So we've adopted this. It's very clear. So our students will be receiving that training as well as our staff members.
Let's talk about AI, because that's all the buzz now. And I know that a number of school systems are trying to figure out how it best works for us. We know we can't ignore AI, right? Because it's here and it's happening. What does that look like in CMS?
Yeah, so this time last year, I was asked that exact same question, and I was deer in headlights, like, or nothing. This year, I have a great answer for you. We went to our community and said, AI is here. What is it that you would like? We believe that if we're going to implement something new, we need to ask stakeholders what they want. We got lots of responses, and basically what we heard was people are both curious and cautious in terms of AI. So that's the approach that we're taking. We are doing, we've done a launch already, but our big launch will be next Tuesday, the 18th. We'll be releasing more information about exactly what that will look like in the classroom. But essentially, all employees will have a professional development course that they have to do focusing on data privacy and AI literacy. Additionally, our students, they already had digital citizenship courses that they had. Now AI literacy is incorporated into that, so our students will be taking coursework in that. And then we will have 30 AI champion schools. So we have 30 schools that said, we're really interested in going deeper. They will go through a series of professional development, learning together. They'll have access to some AI tools to see what they like, what they don't like. Does it increase efficiency, their efficiency? Does it provide more time for the human to spend time with students? Because we're strong believers that AI should never replace humans. It's only going to enhance the work that we're already doing. So 30 AI champion schools. We also have AI champions at the district level in different departments. We'll be doing lots of AI use cases to see what works, what doesn't work, and we're just excited to all learn together.
What's your favorite part about the first day? Do you get nervous the day before the students come, before the teachers come? What's your favorite part?
Yeah, so I can't sleep the night before, which is not good, because I'm at the bus lot at about 4:30, 4:45 a.m. Meeting bus drivers, I love that part, saying thank you. Our bus drivers are the first people that students see. We have about 142,000 students and 105,000 ride the bus every day. It's a lot of students that we transport. So an opportunity to say hi to them. Then I will do a media briefing on the bus lot with our media partners. And then this year I'm going to actually ride a bus. So I'm really excited about that. And then just visiting lots of schools. So the best part of my day is just getting to see the students, getting to see their faces. They're so excited about the first day of school. And really our philosophy is like the first day of school and graduation day are probably the most exciting days in a student's career. We want every single day to have that level of excitement.
Okay. What about bus staffing? Is that a challenge? How are you staffing
It is
buses?
always a challenge. Right now, I think we have about 90 vacancies for buses, but it will not impact operations. We have plans in place. First week of school, we will be just fine. Our transportation division, we run the largest transportation system in the entire state of North Carolina. And so they are just masters at how they do all of the routes. But if parents have not downloaded the Here Comes the Bus app, they need to do that. 105,000 students, that means 105,000 families should have the Here Comes the Bus app on their phone, because it will let you know if the bus is early, late, on time, where it is in the route. Our schools do a really good job communicating with families if there's a change in the bus, but you'll get that information first on the Here Comes the Bus app.
Oh yes, I know. I'm on the anchor desk when I get it. I think that's all I have. Let me double check.
Okay.
Something I learned, and you can talk about this if you don't know, it's fine. The dual language immersion. So I met somebody about who's putting her kid in that after studying a year abroad, and I didn't realize that there were so many CMS schools that have the dual language immersion, and not just in Spanish.
You know, there are so many amazing opportunities for our students in Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools. One of my goals this year is to make those opportunities known to everyone and make it so simplistic. I call it the elevator speech. Somebody just moved to Charlotte and you get on the elevator with them. Before you get to the top floor, we should be able to tell them all the things. But you are correct. We do have immersion schools in Chinese, in Spanish, French, German. I'm actually visiting one of those schools, Sale, in one of my first week or two of school visits, but it is absolutely amazing. I met some students at the back to school, and they went to one of our language immersions. I said, "What's your language?" And they said French. I said, "Please talk to me." Second grade. They're just I was like, "We." That's all I got for you.
Yes, excellent. Yeah, I had no idea. I was like, wow,
Yes.
okay. What are the biggest lessons you've learned? This is your third year?
Starting my third year.
As superintendent, what have you learned? What are the biggest lessons?
Yeah, I would say you have to say the same thing 7 times in 7 different ways. Clear is kind. I am a naturally transparent person, but saying things 7 times in 7 different ways in a way that the audience can understand them, I think is something, it's been a huge learning. The importance of asking the people that are closest to the work the questions before we take on any big initiatives. When I first came on, I would say we were in the space of turnaround work, right? Like there was lots of things that we needed to address just because of the instability in leadership that we had. We were just coming off COVID. There were new school board members. There were just so many things. There was a lot of top down. These are things we are going to do. I think we're more stable now, so now the way that we're doing continuous improvement is more of a push-pull model. So asking lots of questions. I'd say one of the things I'm most proud of last year is we had so many different advisory groups. So 2 years ago, I started the very first ever superintendent's parent advisory group. We had not had one previously. We started real small, and I said, this group is not representative of the entire district. So last year we met 2 times formally, but there's 2 parents from every single school that come and meet. We have a big gathering, and at those meetings we were asking them, like, Infinite Campus is coming. What are some things that we need to work on? So we did a lot of push-pull with those groups. We did it with parents, principals, teachers, support staff.
Okay.
So I would say that's the thing that I'm most proud of, and my biggest learning is how valuable it is to have that level of communication to inform the work that we're doing.
Okay. I like that. That's actually a very good idea. Oh yeah, what is the top? Isn't there a top 10 something? We reported that.
Yes, top
So
10.
where is that? What is that for a parent who doesn't know?
Okay, so to your point, going back to school is a big deal, even though we do it every year, right? It's a big deal. There's just so many things. And we communicate in so many different ways. And it's like, wait a minute, if I just had to focus on 10 things, so we just sat around the table and said, if we wanted every parent to know about 10 things this year, what would they be? That's how we came up with the list. And so we said, well, that's how we need to market it. We need to communicate to parents. You need to know all these things. Before it was just the back to school website that had all of these things.
Right.
Now we said, here's the top 10 things that you need to know. You click on those things and you learn more.
And that's right on the CMS
It's
website.
right on the CMS website. It says back to school, top 10 things to know. You click on it. The icons come 1 through 10. They're not in order of importance. Let me just say that. They're not ranked. They're
Okay.
just 10 things that are listed. But you click on them and the things are online enrollment, Infinite Campus, I Love You Guys, bus transportation, all of those things. I guess one thing that I didn't talk about was immigration code enforcement.
Okay.
That's been a hot topic. And so what I would want families to know is that we are prepared, we've been prepared, we have provided additional training for our administrators, we're providing additional training for all of our teachers as they come back during their staff meetings. And so what we want parents to know is that your students are safe at school, we have protocols that are in place. In fact, even this morning we're updating our website with more clear language on if immigration enforcement come to school, how we handle that. The simple answer is we handle it the same way we would handle any law enforcement agent that comes to campus. We've dealt with law enforcement in the past. ICE agents are the same. So when they come, they have to have a warrant. If they don't have a warrant, they can't be on our campus. Whatever documents they provide, there's a point of contact in the office that will reach out to our legal department while they wait comfortably in the front office. They are not allowed to wander the schools. They are not allowed to go on the playgrounds and things like that. That is not allowable. It is not lawful. And so I just want families to know and understand that we do know what to expect if it happens. There's a protocol in place. There's points of contact. And our teachers, while they'll know what is happening, it is not their job to manage that. That is administration's job. Our teachers' job is to do what they do best, and that's to care for, to love, and teach our students. So parents don't have to worry about their teachers being distracted by that. They're going to be taking care of your children.
Good point. Last thing, you made me think of something. Students will come to school, be it from immigrant families or otherwise, and there will be some nervousness or maybe something happens at school. You have counselors there. Talk about their role and sort of how, if a kid needs them, if it's bullying, if it's, concern that ICE is going to come get me from school. A number of things come up when you're in school, right? But you have counselors there to assist the students, not just for getting ready for high school or getting ready for college.
Yes, absolutely. And so what I would say is that all of our staff are trained to make sure that they care for students. Depending on the level of support, they may need additional support that comes from the counselor. And so we do have counselors at every single school. We have social workers coverage at every single school. So there are definitely resources available at the school. If there are certain instances that happen, we also have teams that go out to schools to provide additional support. And that's for, you mentioned all of the things. Students are humans, and they experience things differently because their brains are not developed as ours are. They don't really understand sometimes things that may be happening. So we have people who are trained to help walk them through any experience that may be traumatic for them or for their families.
Perfect. Anything else you want to add? What's something about you that students might be surprised to know?
Surprised to know. I have a dog named Pepper, and she's my baby.
What kind of dog?
She's a mini schnauzer, and she is spoiled rotten.
Okay.
And I used to teach first grade. It's the best grade, but I always told the students, don't tell anybody else I said that, but I love teaching first grade. I have 2 daughters, one in college, one who is a rising junior, toughest year ever, so she's really excited. Been married for 23 years, and I just love school, love, 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 and I love students. And when I come to your classroom, I'm going to be asking you, what are you working on? And I want you to tell me what you're working on. I'm going to ask you what you like, what you don't like.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you if you talk to me about your teacher. Does your teacher help you? What are some things that we can do better to better support you? So if you see me, ask me. And I love seeing people out also, like at the grocery store, at the food line or whatever. So if you see me out, please make sure you say hi.
And that was our Lisa Washington talking to CMS Superintendent Dr. Crystal Hill on what they're looking forward to this academic school year. We have a little bit of breaking news, I would suppose. This is an announcement from Whataburger, of course, just having their opening last week in Indian Hill. But they announced this morning that they have a multi-year partnership designating Whataburger as a proud partner of both Carolina Panthers and Charlotte FC. So they will have a major presence at Bank of America Stadium. That will start later on in September. And beyond games and events at Bank of America Stadium, Whataburger is also committed to year-round support of youth and community programs. So the Texas-based burger chain, with its 75-year-old legacy, is going to make a mark now for the Charlotte area. We already know that there is one open in Gastonia, a couple opening in East Charlotte, Carlene.
There's one in Indian Land that just opened up last week.
Indian Land. I call it Indian Hill.
Yeah, they're
Indian
popping
Land.
up everywhere now.
Columbia, South
Columbia
Carolina.
has one. It's very poppin'. I go by it quite often. It's delicious.
I know. I'm waiting for these lines to go down because I'm a Whataburger fan as well. But, well, we'll have plenty of it now, certainly, with the partnership between Carolina Panthers and Charlotte FC. All right. Right now, we are coming up on 10:15. Let's take a quick 2-minute break here on WCNC Plus. You're watching Live Impact News. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And we are back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Jane Monreal on this Monday morning. Thanks for joining us here as we are getting to some breaking news right now. This is out of Fort Lauderdale. The Coast Guard saying that they are, this is a press conference, saying that they had the largest cocaine offload in Coast Guard history. This is with the assistance of partner agencies. This is live right now out of Fort Lauderdale. Let's go ahead and listen in if they haven't wrapped up on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. And sure enough, they did wrap up a press conference, but like I said, announcing the largest cocaine offload in Coast Guard history. And this is, what's that, Carlene? Oh, okay. This is a huge counter-drug operation in the Eastern Pacific and Caribbean Sea. So let's get right now, catch you up with Alice Barr covering from Washington the latest in national news.
With Russia's assault on Ukraine showing no sign of slowing down, targeting energy infrastructure and an American-owned electronics factory in recent days, two very different views are emerging from the U.S. and Russia about the prospects for peace. Vice President J.D. Vance pointing to progress after President Trump met separately with Russian President Putin and Ukrainian President Zelensky.
This is the energetic diplomacy that's going to bring this war to a close.
While Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov threw cold water on the president's push for a Putin-Zelensky meeting.
There is no meeting planned. Putin is ready to meet with Zelensky when the agenda would be ready for a summit. And this agenda is not ready at all.
Lavrov noting that key issues, including security guarantees for Ukraine and disputes over territory, remain unresolved.
Zelensky said no to everything. How can we meet with a person who is pretending to be a leader?
Vice President Vance asked on NBC's Meet the Press whether Russia is stringing President Trump along.
No, not at all, Kristen. I think the Russians have made significant concessions to President Trump for the first time in 3.5 years of this conflict.
The president again weighing Russia's sanctions.
Massive sanctions or massive tariffs or both? Or do we do nothing and say it's your fight?
While in Ukraine, Sunday, a celebration of 34 years of independence, with a grave threat hanging over the years to come. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Well, in sports news, if you haven't heard, legendary Martina Navratilova has bought, tennis star, has bought a minority ownership in the Charlotte Ascent FC. And our Colin Mayfield has this interview previously recorded on what that ownership means to Miss Navratilova and to women's soccer here in Charlotte. This is Live Impact News on WCNC+.
All right, we're going to shift things back here locally. Some huge news for one of the, I guess, the newest professional franchise here in Charlotte, but it has fan fervor all over it. We know how soccer has been a fantastic, galvanizing sport here in Charlotte. Forrest just talked about Charlotte FC and their big game against New York Red Bulls. We want to bring in one of the best tennis players of all time, Martina Navratilova. Martina, it's great to have you. Some huge news today that you are the newest minority owner, a huge investment in this team. And as I just said, they are one of the, if not the hottest team, not only in Charlotte, but I would say the United States. Is that one thing that probably grabbed your attention?
Well, what grabbed my attention is the opportunity to actually support women athletes, and this particular team has such a great front office, everybody there, really nice people, and they've done such a great job. 1 year they played, got to the finals, and they'll do one better this year because they have some new players as well, and the players are excited. I'm excited that I can be a part of this journey.
I think a lot of people are excited that you're on this journey now as well. As I said, some huge news. I can only imagine you are in Charlotte now because you have a WCNC, Mike flag. I'm sure the trip, right, is a fun one. I'm not sure how long you've been in Charlotte, but what do you think of the city? Can you give me a perspective of yourself, kind of not necessarily being an outsider, right, but you're not from Charlotte. What would you say about the city?
Well, I first played here in 1973, so I'd say the skyline has changed just a little bit since then. But I remember driving around here, actually learned how to drive on the streets of Charlotte. And it's such a growing city. I think it's the fifth most growing city in the country. And everybody has been so nice. We got great weather. And and potential for a champion. So yeah, this is a cool town. I think this is my 4th interview with different stations, so many different TV stations, which means you're a big city. It's a big, small city, and I think I'm looking forward to coming and watching the women play and compete and hopefully win eventually.
Well, it's great to have you. We certainly appreciate your time that you take with us. Yes, unfortunately, that's kind of how it goes. The roundtable of media wanting to know different things. I guess I do. You had kind of brought this up, and there is just a need, and I think a lot of folks are really paying attention to women's sports at this time, just because of the highlight and the awareness that's been created by so many great athletes like yourself over the last 2 decades. Because it has been, I'm sure, a struggle to make sure that there's been equity on any playing field. And I think that has been a huge part of what you are trying to bring, I think, to Ascent FC, to the entire landscape here in the United States. Can you speak to that and what you've seen in terms of women's sports really being a catalyst, as I said earlier, to galvanize people together and really make sports better to watch?
I 100% agree with that. Better to watch. Women are built differently than men, but we play the game pretty similarly. And it's just women's sports has grown so much this so many years, but it's been a struggle because corporations are owned by men. The big brands are owned, most of them owned by men, run by men. The publicity that we get, used to be all male photographers, all male writers, all male people in the TV room. Now it's changed. There's a lot more women in those positions, and so the visibility has improved. We still have some ways to go, but it's been a long battle, but it's gotten so much better, and I'm just so excited to see these women and girls then get excited to play a sport which is a lot of fun, very healthy, and now they can make a living at it. So we've come a long way, baby, but we still have some ways to go.
Absolutely, and that's why they brought you on. I mean, you seem like a very humble person. I know we haven't met, but I have to imagine there's got to be some enthusiasm in that locker room, especially with your name. It resonates with these women. A lot of these women have played, continue to play professionally, have had resumes that are outstanding. But to have, as I said earlier, I know you probably won't tout yourself as one of the greatest ever, but you are. And I can only imagine how many young women have looked up to you over the years. Can you talk about just the excitement from your perspective that you've seen, not only in the locker room, but maybe just around the franchise as a whole?
Well, I only met like 3 women so far, the players on the team, but I'm looking forward to meeting the rest of them when I come back, and then maybe give them some snippets of what I know about playing and competing and winning. But it's nice to know that they actually do know who I am, because I retired back in '94, so most of them weren't even born when I stopped playing tennis. But now there's YouTube, so they can kind of check it out and see, hey, maybe she knows what she's talking about. I just hope to bring some kind of knowledge and some encouragement and inspiration to these women. Not that they need it, because they seem to be pretty much all self-starters from what I see, but they're excited about the second season, and I'm excited about being a part of it.
I got to ask a little bit more directly, and you don't have to answer, but I have to know, if you would tell us, please, what grabbed you about Ascent FC? I mean, you could have invested, I'm sure, in any franchise around the world, and especially around the United States. Why did you choose Ascent FC? Can I ask?
Yeah, of course. Well, I love the logo. No, just kidding. Pretty colors, pretty uniforms. I'm kidding. They called me up and they said, would you like to be a part of this journey? And, nobody else called. Not that I was really thinking about doing this, because, I got my life and I'm pretty happy with where my life is right now. But this was an opportunity that I listened. I said, well, let me meet the people that are involved here, and we'll see how we get along. And everybody's been, again, so nice, so positive, and excited about me coming and buying into the franchise. And so I thought, I love new experiences, and this is in my wheelhouse. It is sports and it's women, so I'm all in, baby.
I love it.
Why
I love
not
it.
here?
Anything else?
Why
Anything
not
else,
here?
Miss Martina, that we don't know about you, or that would help us get a better understanding of the mission ahead? Anything else that we're missing here from you?
You're not missing anything except my dog Lulu is crying because she sees me here and she can't get to me. She's a 15-year-old dachshund. So if you want to meet her, Lulu's
Yes,
coming
please.
over.
Yes,
and she may
Lulu.
be coming with me to watch the.
Oh my goodness!
Here's Lulu. And she goes everywhere with me, but she can't hear you, and she can't hear me either.
I love it. Well, to you
Anyway,
and Lulu,
I
have a fantastic stay in Charlotte. Martina, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate your investment into Charlotte. As we know, it's going to help our local economy, but it's going to help SNFC, and I cannot wait to see what they do with your backing as well. So appreciate it, and have a great weekend. Okay.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it to be part of this community. Thank you. Thanks.
We're very excited about Lulu.
Weenie dog. You know I'm so excited about the weenie dog. I was like, my face just lit up. Oh, what a
very
cutie.
cute. Well, Martina, yeah, again, I mean, a legend. I can't believe she stopped playing in 1984. But yeah, she looks good, still good energy.
Great.
And I mean, really, you can't. She said the uniforms were good looking, and
They are.
which
They have really
are.
good
So,
merch.
I told you I sang the national anthem for them early on last season.
Very talented, Miss Jane. Very talented.
As are you, Miss
Oh,
Carlene.
stop.
We got the dancing thing going on here, dancing stream queens.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got a shirt for that.
That's great.
Got the T-shirt, and I was
we
like,
had
I
a
loved
couple-
it, and they were doing so well then too.
Yeah, we had a couple players come, I don't know, it was a couple months ago, remember? I think me and Nick talked to them. Lovely.
They are
they're
on
lovely.
it. They're hot.
great.
All right, Charlotte Ascent FC.
Go check them out.
With Martina Navratilova now part owner. So maybe we'll be seeing her and Lulu.
That'd be cool.
More often. We're coming up at 10:30 right now on a Monday morning. First day of school, CMS, Union County, Hickory, Anson County. I think that was it, the 4 counties. So enjoy the first day of school, parents as well. Let's take a quick break here at 10:30 on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. We'll be right back. And you are coming back here to Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Jane Monreal. We thank you for downloading the app to your Roku, Fire, and Apple TVs. We're spreading the word. We're getting into your doctor's office and all your rooms in the house and to your friends and family across the country, because that is what we do. We bring in these live feeds as we see them coming in to the Charlotte newsroom, covering from local to state, national, and international news. Speaking of which, right now happening live in Minneapolis, Minnesota, the Democratic National Committee kicking off their summer meeting. This is the first of 3 days. It is the first general session featuring remarks from their Governor Tim Walz, U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar, and DNC Chair Ken Martin. He just struck the gavel.
They're asking, I should just say, because I'm listening to it, they're asking the veterans of those who have served to come forward. So that's what, when we join it, that's what's just happened.
Very good. So this is just the very beginning. They are expected to speak here again for 3 days. But let's go ahead and listen in on the start of this session on Live Impact News on WCNC+.
Thank you. Members, please join me in welcoming Pastor Jen Rome, who will lead us in our invocation today. Pastor.
I appreciate being here. So, here you all are. You have shown up as part of the political process, longing for justice and joy for all people in creation. Just showing up means that you are people of hope. Hope for the world to turn on an axis of love. Deep in my spiritual tradition is the love of neighbor, which came from its founding and sibling tradition. Love of neighbor is part of so many expressions of faith and wisdom. Neighbor doesn't just mean the person living in the apartment or the house or the tent next to you. Neighbor means all human beings. We are a nation of neighbors, neighbors to love. Love is often seen as a feeling or an idea, but love is action. When neighbors are oppressed, silenced, or hurt, we must act in love for those neighbors. When our neighbors' needs are not protected or provided for, we must act in love for those neighbors. Being a neighbor is messy and hard. Being a neighbor means admitting to wrong and working for reparation and reconciliation. Being a neighbor both breaks my heart and keeps it beating. For me, being a neighbor is everything. It's what I'm called to be, with all my faults and biases, with all my gifts, and with all my life. I imagine that you will be having complicated conversations and be making difficult decisions. Yet underneath it all is something very simple. You are here to love your neighbors, to take loving action for your neighbors, to move our nation towards love made known in equity, dignity, and compassion for all. So as you gather, wonder, What will you do these next days to care for your neighbors, your states, this nation, the world, and the earth itself? And so, in the presence of what is utterly divine and deeply human, may love be the heart of your work together.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you, Pastor Rome. Now, please welcome a friend of mine from the Minnesota DFL, their treasurer, and her name is Lindy Somek, who is from the Saginaw Ojibwe Nation, and she's going to deliver our land acknowledgement today. Lindy.
Bonjour, Lindy Somek, Nindichnikaz, Amekdodam, Saginaw Chippewa Dojaba, Anishinaabe Kwe and Dow. Good morning, DNC members, friends, and relatives. Let's talk about the land for a second. The DNC acknowledges and honors the Dakota Oyate, the Dakota people, who are the original stewards of the lands and waters of Minneapolis. The Dakota cared for the lands, lakes, and the Wapatonka, the Great River, the Mississippi River, for thousands of years before colonization. This land was not claimed or traded. It's a part of a history of broken treaties and promises. And in many ways, we still live in a system built to suppress Indigenous peoples' cultural and spiritual history. As Democrats, I ask of every one of you to not allow land acknowledgements like these to simply be the checking of a box. Be curious, ask questions, ensure our Native neighbors are heard, and work in partnership with your Indigenous communities. Honor the legacy of this land and its people by engaging today with each other with honesty, humility, respect, and compassion. Chimigwech, and thank you so much.
Thank you, friend. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Thank you, Lindy. I want to really take this moment to thank our DNC Secretary, Jason Ray. You know, he does such amazing work for this party, and it's my honor for our first meeting to turn this microphone over to Secretary Ray for the determination of the quorum.
Well, good morning, Democrats. It is great to see all of you. It looked and sounded like we had a lot of fun last night at the Minnesota State Fair. And as we can see, Democrats have traveled from all 57 states and territories to be here to conduct the important business of the party before us this week. And Mr. Chairman, I'm proud to report that we do indeed have a quorum of members present.
Yeah. Thank you, Secretary Ray. I'm now going to recognize at microphone 1 over there, Congresswoman Joyce Beatty. Just 1 second, Congresswoman. They'll turn the microphone on there. Give it 1 second here. Okay.
Good morning, and good morning, fellow Democrats. Mr. Chairman, I rise in the spirit of making a motion. As most know, I serve in the United States House of Representatives in a family that is divided. So it gives me great pleasure in our family, more than the 435 members of Congress, to move in the spirit of business and movement, that I move that we allow a maximum of 3 members to speak in favor and 3 members to speak against any motion, with members speaking no longer than 2 minutes. We have a 1-minute rule in the House for each for the duration of our general meeting. And it is simply that everyone can be heard and we get through our motions. That is my motion, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Yes, Stuart Applebaum on microphone 2.
Thank you, Chairman, and good morning, everybody. As Democrats, we understand the stakes of what is happening in our country. We may not agree on everything, but we Democrats are united in our love for America. We are united in our opposition to those who seek to divide us. And we are united against those Republicans who are breaking faith with everything we respect. The rule of law, the right to organize, the freedom of the press, and the right to vote. And I know that Donald Trump is the biggest union buster in our nation's history. I urge my colleagues to support
All right,
Any other discussion?
We are going to switch gears
Is there any
here
other
right
discussion?
now and go to Fort Lauderdale, where the Coast Guard is holding a press conference on their largest offload of cocaine. Let's listen in here live on Live Impact News on WCNC+.
Those unable to join us today, we will publish a press release with imagery and information about the Hamilton's interdiction operations later today. I request that any questions you may have are focused on the Coast Guard's drug interdiction operations and the Cutter Hamilton. I know that we have several senior leaders here today, and you may have other questions for them, and we're happy to refer those to the appropriate authority to be answered another time. But we've invited you here today for the Hamilton's historic offload. Thank you, and it is now my pleasure to introduce the Commander of Coast Guard District Southeast, Rear Admiral Adam Shammy.
All right. Thanks, Nikki. Good morning, and thank you for joining us today. What a beautiful day in South Florida. Today, we welcome the crew of Coast Guard Cutter Hamilton. This is the crew's final stop before returning to their home port in Charleston later this week. Today, we are witness to the largest drug offload in Coast Guard history, a total of 76,140 pounds of illegal narcotics. The crew of Hamilton, who have lived in this ship for over the last 2 months, they personally interdicted over 47,000 pounds of cocaine. These men and women put themselves in harm's way time and again to stop the bad guys, apprehend the smugglers, and seize the drugs. This is grueling and dangerous work, and I am extremely proud of them. The crew of Hamilton was joined by several other Coast Guard and Department of Defense units during their deployment. These other units included Coast Guard Cutter Vigilant and Coast Guard Cutter Diligence, the Coast Guard Helicopter Interdiction Tactical Squadron, our Coast Guard Tactical Law Enforcement teams from Miami and San Diego, and a whole host of Coast Guard members throughout the Southwest, West, and Southeast districts. Also within the Department of Homeland Security, Customs and Border Protection, air and marine operations played a critical role in several of these interdictions. Within the Department of Defense, these interdictions would not have happened without the tireless work by the Joint Interagency Task Force South in Key West, Florida. You will hear more about their mission in just a minute. Also within the Department of Defense, the crews of USS Cole and USS Minneapolis-St. Paul performed multiple interdictions, seizing the drugs you see in front of you and detaining the suspected smugglers. We were also joined by the Royal Netherlands Navy and the crew of HNLMS Friesland. The Dutch remain a steadfast partner to the United States as they battle the cartels right alongside us. In total, these crews interdicted a staggering $473 million in illegal narcotics before they could reach our shores. That's 61,740 pounds of cocaine and 14,400 pounds of bulk marijuana, all stopped at sea. This success was a team effort, made possible by our unwavering dedication and seamless coordination with our incredible partners at the Department of Homeland Security, Department of Defense, and Department of Justice. This truly illustrates the power of interagency cooperation in protecting our nation. 80% of all narcotics seized are confiscated at sea, underscoring the impact of Coast Guard maritime interdiction efforts. The U.S. Coast Guard brings unique authorities and unmatched capabilities as the world's leader in maritime counter-drug operations. Every single day, thousands of brave men and women of the Coast Guard stand watch, controlling, securing, and defending our border and maritime approaches. We are proud to serve as a part of the Department of Homeland Security and at all times one of our military branches. Whether on the water or in the air, the U.S. Coast Guard works hand in hand with our partners. We're on the front lines in the fight against foreign terrorist organizations and other dangerous criminals who seek to flood our community with narcotics, deadly fentanyl, and other illicit substances. To truly understand the significance of this offload, consider this. The 61,740 pounds of cocaine represent 23 million potentially lethal doses. That's enough to fatally overdose the entire population of the state of Florida. Think about that for a moment. Enough cocaine to kill everyone in Florida. That's the immense scale of the threat we face. Maritime interdiction is, without a doubt, the most effective way to stop these deadly drugs before they reach our communities, before they destroy lives and tear our families apart. Under Secretary Noem's leadership, we, the Coast Guard, are committed to dedicating the resources and the effort necessary to stop the flow of dangerous drugs into our country. Over the past several months, the Coast Guard is accelerating its counter-drug operations in the maritime transit zone. In close coordination with our international and interagency partners, we are surging additional cutters, aircraft, and tactical law enforcement teams to the Eastern Pacific Ocean to hunt down, interdict, and board these suspected smugglers, all in support of Operation Pacific Viper. This critical operation is one of the Coast Guard's key efforts to interdict, seize, and disrupt the transshipment of cocaine and other bulk illicit drugs that come to us by sea from South America through the Eastern Pacific to our shores. These drugs fuel and enable cartels and transnational criminal organizations, the very same groups that are pushing fentanyl and other deadly substances to our communities. To the crew of Coast Guard Cutter Hamilton and to all our incredible partners here today and those that are still out there doing the mission, I extend my deepest gratitude. Thank you for your extraordinary service, your unwavering commitment, and your tireless efforts to keep America safe. Semper Paratus. $1 million. With an M. Yes, ma'am. You're welcome. Good morning. My name's Admiral Chase Sargent. I'm the Deputy Director for JIADF South, which is charged with all of the detection and monitoring of drugs both on the water and in the maritime airspace. And our connection to Coast Guard is obviously we build the picture and pass the ships and the prosecution off to the Coast Guard, who then gets after the drugs, interdicts it, and brings it home. Brings it home for burning and disposal. I want to recognize, as Admiral Shammy did, the joint force and the U.S. law enforcement agencies that are here today as well, and many of the ones that aren't. And it's as the Deputy Director down at JIADF South, I see firsthand every day the cooperation and the collaboration that goes on between all of these groups to make this mission and our mission as successful as it is to detect and monitor, but also to support the Coast Guard, both Coast Guard District Southwest and Coast Guard District Southeast, in executing their part of the mission, which is to get the drugs. And a whole government collaboration that makes detection monitoring so effective. But we're not here to recognize those agencies as much as we are the incredible work you see here in front of you on the collection of 27 plus, and I'm going to say metric tons because we track it in metric tons, but I did the math, it's the same as the pounds. 27 plus metric tons of cocaine and 15.9 thousand pounds of marijuana. And in addition to that, as the Admiral mentioned, set a new Coast Guard record for the largest offload, single offload by a U.S. Coast Guard vessel. Led by Hamilton during the 2 months that they are out at sea, so 2 months only. They were assisted by the other ships, as he mentioned before, the Hamilton, Diligence, the Vigilant, the USS Cole, USS Minneapolis St. Paul, and the frigate Friesland from the Dutch. It was a glorious grouping of ships at a single time, and to bring together the large offload that you see here today. But I think if you want to see, in general, what's keeping America safe from drugs, it's this. It's the work they're doing out there every day, every night, 365, 24/7, out in the East Pac, Eastern Pacific, and the Caribbean. This is what's keeping drugs off the streets of America, and this is what's winning the war on drugs in general. An impressive group effort. On top of that record as well, I want to acknowledge the Hamilton in general, the crew of the Hamilton, for demonstrating aggressiveness and perseverance from the day they arrived on mission, and it's resulted in an interdiction of 20 of that 27 metric tons, 20 plus of it belonging to the Hamilton alone. This is not just an impressive number, it is, we believe, the largest offload of a single ship for a 2-month patrol, or any patrol as well. So Captain McWhite, you and your crew should be very proud of this effort, and we expect you back this fall. Maybe, if Admiral Chamberlain will let us, we'll definitely take you back this fall. How about a round of applause for the ship, the Hamilton, and the efforts that they did over the last 2 months. Lastly, I want to thank Hamilton for what I know has not been an easy lift in the last couple of days to be ready for this event. So I want to say bravo Zulu to the crew.
We're going to break away from that press conference out of Fort Lauderdale right now to bring you President. He is speaking live at the White House right now. Let's listen in here on Live Impact News on WCNC+.
The road which in the city, which is in bad shape. We have great stripers. We have great contractors, but we have to let them do the thing. The Congress has said that they'll give us whatever money is needed to fix up the Capitol. This is the Capitol. And we're not going to spend a lot. It's going to go fast, and it will be spotless. And we want it spotless for the World Cup and for the Olympics. You saw the World Cup was here the other day. And come to think of it, there's your trophy for the World Cup. In fact, it's solid gold. That's actually solid gold, so heavy that some of the people in this room wouldn't be able to lift it up. I think what I'm going to do is place it right above the angel, right over there. That's solid gold, too. We're going to put it right up there. Look at that. There's a solid gold trophy. They know how to get to me, you know. I like the angel better, to be honest with you. So we're going to sign, and then we'll take a few questions, and we'll tell you how good a job we're doing. We want to go from here to other places, but I was telling some of the people that in a certain way, you really want to be asked to go. You know, I hate to barge in on a city and then be treated horribly by corrupt politicians and bad politicians, like a guy like Pritzker. He ought to spend more time in the gym, actually. This guy is a disaster. Gavin Newsom's a disaster. When we went, we saved Los Angeles. You wouldn't have been able to have the Olympics in Los Angeles. You're barely able to have it now. They did lose 25,000 houses to a fire that should have never occurred, because they didn't let the water come down from the Pacific Northwest, which you guys don't want to write about. I had to break into the water supply to let the water down. And even now, we want more. We can have much more. It's less than half of what should be coming in. I don't know, they have a political thing about it. It's like the craziest thing I've ever seen. But I don't like going to a town, a city, place, a state, and then be criticized by some corrupt or incompetent governor where crime is rampant. Like, take a look at D.C. Crime was rampant. It was at the all-time worst. It got really bad during the Biden 4 years. And then I have a mayor stand up and say how crime has reached a 30-year low. 30-year low. People are being killed left and right. And it's not a 30-year low. Think of it. So for 11 days, there's been no murders. The record goes back years where that's happened. They haven't seen that happen in years. And then people stand up, and instead of thanking us, which they should do, and she's not that bad. She's better than most. But, you know, you have people, I watched in Illinois, Chicago, Illinois is a disaster. I have property there. It's a disaster what's going on in Chicago. And you get Pritzker, he's violating our rights. I think this is another men and women's sports thing. I think this is one of those, you know, they call them 80-20 issues. I call them 97-3. I think the Democrats better get smart. And, you know, politically, I hope they don't. But actually, in terms of love for the country, I hope they do, because it would be good to work together. So I'm thinking about, you know, when I have some slob like Pritzker criticizing us before we even go there, I made the statement that next should be Chicago, because as you all know, Chicago is a killing field right now. And they don't acknowledge it. And they say, we don't need him, freedom, freedom. He's a dictator, he's a dictator. A lot of people are saying maybe we like a dictator. I don't like a dictator. I'm not a dictator. I'm a man with great common sense, and I'm a smart person. And when I see what's happening to our cities, and then you send in troops, instead of being praised, they're saying you're trying to take over the republic. These people are sick. But I'm really saying, and I say this to all of you, in a certain way, we should wait to be asked, because they have cities that are so under control, you know, out of control. So we go in and fix it. They take the full credit for it, and they go out and say, I heard it this morning. They're saying how well they've done over the last 10-day period, that they set record lows. They don't say that we're there with very tough people, by the way. They have to pass the toughness test. Otherwise, they're not working for us. So, and we're allowed to do that now, according to the United States Supreme Court decision. Now, they have to pass the tough.
And President Trump taking some questions right now, speaking at the White House before he is expected to sign several